This may be the last thing I look at. This stood out to me during the game. I commented on it at some point. I think I put it maybe in one of the responses in the report card. I can't remember. But this is part of the problem I'm talking about. And it's not like I'm alone in this. I've said for a long time, I think the new era of head coach is a um, almost a personnel guy and is going to and can have a role. I mean, don't get me wrong. A guy like Brent Venables with all his track record and his history, you want him coaching. I'm not saying that, but when you are so hands on and you are the defensive coordinator, ignore any allusions to the contrary because we all know they're bull. When you are doing that, you have divided interests. You can't be two places at one time, and you end up missing things. And I thought this was a really good example. So just watch it. So you're going to see him stop. He finds Kendall Dolby, and they start talking. He's obviously telling him, good job doing all the things defensive coordinator is. Answering a question. Kendall Dolby says something. Brent can't hear him because he's got a headset on. Okay. They're having a conversation. Guys, this is OU is just taking over the ball from Oklahoma State on what is going to be their last drive of the game. And for those who don't know, right here, this is Matt Wells, kind of Brent's right-hand guy, former Texas Tech head coach, very respected. Just a guy that around that program, around college football, people like Matt Wells. And he's obviously there's a conversation happening here. Watch him. He's going to whip his, and he's got something to say, puts his headphone on. Obviously, that's one thing. He said 3 or 4 words. Like, it couldn't have been much. I'm not trying to make a mountain of a molehill of that. But at the same time, Brent didn't hear any of that. He has no idea what was just said. He can't hear any of the communication that's going on at the same time. And it's because he's running the defense. And I think that's really, really hard to do. And I think it's a lot to ask. And like I said in the comment I'm talking about, Nick Saban turned his defense over to somebody else and has for years. Kirby Smart has produced Dan Lanning, Mel Tucker, all these great defensive coordinators. Got another one going right now with Glenn Schumann. You can't. It's really hard to be at the top and be doing 2 jobs. And does Brent hearing the conversation going on or have an input on it, does that change anything? I don't know. Probably not. But I know I'd rather have him involved in it and him having a say in what's going on rather than he's talking to a defensive back about who knows what in a coverage package. Like, that's great. And it has its place, but it's distracting him away from his primary job, which is being the head coach and having to make the decisions that matter with 2 minutes left in the fourth quarter in Bedlam. Like, I don't say that to be harsh to Brent. This is just something I think, and I think it's really, really hard to walk both those roles.